Today, as you said, like we are getting away all the dirt from us. Maybe we have a bad person till today. We are trying to become a better person.
I didn't say such things.
Okay, I am a bad
Okay,
person as of
you're
today.
admitting it.
Yeah, I'm admitting it. And maybe a week from now, I should be a better person. And does this, at the end of my life, decide my next life also?
So what happens after death? That's a question. Some things, Ganesh, you will know only by experience. You want to know? It's best you know it only by experience. What happens after death? See, if you want to know what happens after death, do you know what is happening right now with you? Not as a person, as life. Do you know what's happening with you right now? No. So when you do not even know, when you don't have the capability to know life which is kicking within you this moment, where will you get the capability of knowing what will happen after death? So, if you want to know the process of life, this is the moment, isn't it? Now, you must make an effort to turn inward and go deep into yourself, to know the very fundamentals of who you are. If you know this, if you know the basic fundamentals of who you are completely now, even after this body falls apart, still you know the same thing. But if you do not know it now, the possibility of knowing it then doesn't arise. Because right now you are better equipped. Right now, you still have your intellect and discretion. When you shed your body, you don't have these things, you just function by your tendencies. So when your intellect is on and you have the discriminatory power to see what is what, this is when you must see it. What is happening with me right now? What is the nature of who I am right now? If this becomes a living reality for you, knowing what happens later will be very simple.
I know that my father is dying, he's old, and I would like to talk to him about it. But I think it is totally unacceptable in our society. The moment a person is very old and you know he's going to go, you leave him even before he's dead. Why can't we talk about death in a positive way in our culture?
If you avoid death, you will avoid life also. Only that person who is willing to die can live totally. One who tries to avoid death will naturally end up avoiding life. Because what you call as life and death are not different. Right now, you're living, are you living? But actually we can say, right now you're dying, slowly you're dying, one day it'll be complete. Isn't it so? The process of death is on right now. You're actually dying, one day the process will be complete. No, I understand. Now, that too in India, being born in India, if you avoid death, then you don't know anything about your culture. Because this very culture springs from being reminded of your death. See, only when you remind yourself of your death, you will turn spiritual. If you think of God, fantasies will come in your mind. No spirituality will come. Only when you realize, when you become aware, when you remind yourself, I will also die one day. Now, a search comes. Okay, somebody is around you right now, as much alive as you are, they were everything to you in your life, suddenly one day, they're gone. When they fall dead, you think, oh, maybe he's just sleeping, maybe he will sit up now, maybe some miracle will happen, you know, mind will work like this. Then you know, once you cremate him, you know this is it. This person who was so alive, who was life like you, suddenly just evaporates. And wherever you look, he doesn't seem to be there, gone, just gone. And you know the same is true with you. Right now, you're going about doing your act, one day you will be gone, just like that. Once you are conscious of this, then naturally you will want to know, what the hell is this all about? Isn't it? Then spirituality begins. Only when you become conscious, only when you're reminded of your own death, you will become a seeker. When you think God, you're not a seeker. You're just looking for more foolish nonsense in your life. You're looking for more greed and more nonsense and more something else, easier way to get things, isn't it? Only when you think death, you turn spiritual, you seek. So, not just to the old people in your house, to the very young children in your house, you must remind them consciously, all the time, very casually, not as some great doom is going to come. Death is not doom. Death is just a natural process of life, isn't it? You must tell your children always, this is not an endless game, this is a brief game, small picnic you're having here. You're going to be dead one day. Now, if you're aware of this, now I'm not talking about celebrating it. That's not the point. See, either you try to fall this way or that way, that's the problem. See, people try to avoid it or people try to celebrate it. Now, you don't have to avoid it, you don't have to celebrate it. If you're just aware of it, it liberates you. If you celebrate it, you try to glorify it, isn't it? Naturally, your emotions will glorify it, isn't it? That is what? That is a misunderstanding. It is a misunderstanding that you try to celebrate life or death. If you're aware, everything is the way it is and it's too beautiful. It's just fantastic the way it is, the intricacy of life. You don't have to enhance it by your celebration, nor can you bring it down by your gloom. Anyway, it goes on in a grand way. You don't have to celebrate, you just have to join the celebration. You trying to celebrate death will become death-orientedness, isn't it? See, suppose I go on telling you, death is wonderful, really it must happen to you, Then, you become like those UFO cults, You know those UFO cults in some of the Western countries, they all commit mass suicide. This is because they're thinking that is better than this. See, it'll get distorted. Always you try to distort it. Don't distort anything, just seeing everything the way it is. Death is a natural process of life, isn't it? Seeing it as that, not celebrating it, not becoming gloomy about it. It happened. Once, a certain yogi was invited to a new house. A rich man built a house. When they build a new house, they want some spiritual person to enter their house. So they invited the yogi. The yogi went, they welcomed him like a king, they served him well, they did everything for him. He ate well, he sat. Then they said, you must give your blessings to us. So the yogi raised his hand and said, let your father die first, then you die, then let your children die. Now, the man got so wild, said, you fool, we welcomed you and treated you like a king and we fed you like a pig. And now, when I ask for a blessing, you say, first my father should die, then I should die, then my children should die? The yogi was surprised. He said, what is wrong? Is it not in the natural order of things that first your father should die, then you should die, then your children should die? Suppose you die before your father, would it be good? Or your children die before you, would it be good? The best thing that can happen to your life is, first your father dies, then you die, then your children die, isn't it? That means